And I think for all my old veteran artists, I would just kind of let's call it a happening. And people know what a happening is? Yep. Yeah, it's just something gonna happen, and it's just gonna happen when it's gonna happen. And when it happens, we just experience it. And when we experience it, you know, it's just always kind of a groove thing going on. That's some way I could describe it. But it was what we used to call in the 60s that, you know, artists would just kind of come together and just do something. Yep. You know, and that's why I just said tonight, why don't we just, you know, like bring your art, just bring your talent, and come and show your talent. And I know there's some people probably here, you might have some desk job or something that you're doing, you know, every day, but there's a closet artist that's right there in you. And so I wanted to make sure that we had a mix because this is part of the Artist Month. And Artist Month is being celebrated all over the city of Chicago. And if you want to go to some more events, there are catalogs in the back. You know, you can go all over the city and find some things. Our information was supposed to be, we were supposed to be doing this last night, but that was wrong. If you look at the website, it'll tell you that it's for tonight. But I think what's really special about this and what's special about October is this opportunity to recognize the work of creatives in all fields. And when you talk about South Chicago, that's what we're talking about. So tonight, it's going to be a little bit of the young, it's going to be a little bit of the veterans, the people who've been around, and they've been doing this for a long time. But some really great creatives are going to be here. And some of this started in 2004. We got really lucky where the Local Initiative Support Corporation and the Joyce Foundation funded 3 communities. South Chicago was one of them, to really reclaim some of the artists that live here in South Chicago, work in South Chicago, to kind of come together and really create the kind of arts movement that should be here. And so, y'all quiet back there? So I just want to make sure that, you know, we kind of honor this because I don't know whether some people remember this, and I'm going to call out names because I remember seeing faces at these meetings all the time, but I know Joanne Potko and Kevin Murphy, I know they sat at these meetings. Flo sat at these meetings making great proposals. Myron came to them and everything. Marge was leading the chase. She was grabbing the artists and bringing them to the meetings and everything and said, we're going to do something. And you did. And I think you did some really great exhibits that were, you know, that really showed the best of the best talent that was out here. And some of that talent is Maria Villarreal, and definitely Mr. Roman, her husband, Roman Villarreal. And they met quite a bit, and they wanted to make sure that the arts was present in the community because, you know, they live here. They want to see that it happen. There were some more people from the South Chicago Arts Center. Sarah Ward. Sarah was here early today and everything, and she just had a fundraiser last night. And if you don't know, there will be a new art center called Sky Art, which will be on 91st in Houston. And so that will be a new experience for the community too. And along the way, we've picked up a lot of artists, you know, that come and really created some of the fabric of what's going on here. Derek Clemens, if you came in the door, he just hung up some of the art that he did with some of the youth in the community today on this doorway. This piece right here is by Kenzie. Kenzie, raise your hand. Kenzie. This is a tribute to Jimmy Reed, blues musician that lived here in South Chicago and had a lot of record-making roots in Bronzeville. And I think Kenzie's vision was to make sure we honored this blues musician that came up in the community. And I think he did a fabulous job in doing this and recognizing something that probably, a lot of us didn't know. We got Jerry Gibson in the back, our Miss Photographer back there. She worked a lot at Jemima Millgate. You might see some of her books that are on the table that she did with some of the youth and the families, actually getting them to talk about their history. And when we're talking about books, one of our greatest mystery writers is also Kevin Murphy. And then I was looking, that's right, and give Kevin some credit. And Kevin and Joanne are really great because they are our historians. They make sure that we tell these stories and we get them right because he will always document them and put them up on Facebook, and we really appreciate it. Thank you. I said Facebook, didn't I?
YouTube.
YouTube. On YouTube. Okay. I did have a little wine.
Close.
And also hiding right behind you is Mr. Pringle, Mr. James Pringle with Harlem Beer Company. Mr. Pringle brought us actually our first play at People's Park.
All right.
Our first play, there was like 250 people there. And I think my favorite moment was when the play was getting really intense and everybody was really in it. And all of a sudden, an ice cream truck came. And everybody got mad. A couple of guys ran across the street. It's like, get out of here, turn it off. And can you imagine someone turning ice cream down because they want to see the play because it was really, really good. And it really showed us what we could do with that space. And so Flo came out. Flo did, a blues concert at People's Park. And when I always think about Flo, besides her always being my foot soldier, because she'll go out there and get people and everything, she would get and find the best talent in the city and bring them to come and share their talents and their music with us. And it's just amazing and powerful, And then along the lines, we have Loose. I remember we hung your work 2 years ago at Claretians, and a group came in from Russia, and they were so drawn by your artwork, and they thought it was just so, so beautiful. And Mr. Roman, this is Roman De Leon. I call him Roman because we have two Romans. We have Roman De La Real and Roman De Leon, but I call this one Roman, I call this one Roman. I almost didn't recognize him because all of his studs are out and all the tattoos and everything's gone, but another great talented artist that we have. We have magazines, paintings, he's organizing. And so we have Roman. They're actually doing some art under the bridge. So you gotta go check out Under the Bridge. It's Skyway. So what's the address? 10052 South Ewing. So you need to go and check that out. It is some really great work. And so as we're going along, I'm meeting even more artists, more new artists and everything. And Chris, raise your hand. Chris works for our Safe Passage program. Chris took all the pictures. He documented the pictures, and photographed our play streets and our roots in the hood this summer. Amazing pictures. You want to look at his work, you can see it in the book that he brought and shared. So he entered a contest It was the police department that had a photo contest in terms of capturing, good things that happened in the community. Well, Chris won first place. Talking about South Chicago, very own.
Which place?
He won first place. $300. He takes me dinner. No, I'm just kidding. But the reality is there's so much talent here, And Miss Gregory just left, and he brought some of the art of his cousin, and I'm so sorry I do not know his cousin's name. I forgot his name. It'll come back. Gregory was here earlier, and he brought Eddie Harris.
All right.
Eddie Harris. This is some of the work of Eddie Harris. And Henry in the back, raise your hand. Henry brought some of his work. He's an inventor. He's an artist inventor. So he invents different types and forms of art and everything. So I'm saying all of this because I'm talking to the young people, especially the young ones in the back. You are among some very great talent in the community. And if you ever are interested in really getting into the arts, if you really want to know what it's like and what it's about, these are the people you should be talking to. And, the arts can do really kind of crazy things to you. Because I'll be honest, I thought I was going to be on Broadway. I thought that was the dream. I was like, I'm going to do New York, I'm going to do Broadway, did a couple of movies, so happy and everything. But then I got a little concerned because art was being taken out of the schools. So I got really concerned about that, so I decided that was the calling, to make sure that the youth had access to the arts, because I don't know whether you realize it, but we have a generation of teachers that probably, if they're from Chicago, they probably didn't have arts when they were growing up. And so they're teaching our kids, and so we have what we call teaching artists that are out there now helping those teachers by teaching them how to integrate the art process in their work and understanding the arts more better so the kids can get exposed to it. And so we've been really lucky. We've been lucky with our commissioner, Michelle Boone, who really saw the need for the arts to be present in the schools and in the communities. And so she worked with us to write a community arts plan. And they came here in South Chicago to get our feedback. And its plan was so successful. There's so many people who are crying for the arts in schools that there is now an arts plan for education. So they really are working on bringing the arts back into the schools. So I think that too is really very important. And I just wanted to make sure that if people wanted the floor to kind of talk about something new that they're doing, and you want to share, you want to get people to know that some of the things that you're bringing to the community, you can kind of come up today and, talk about some of the things that that you want to participate in. But I want to kind of kick things off first with some young gentlemen that are here from Germano Millgate. And, I'm old school, so I don't know all the right things to say, but I'm from the older school, someone just said. And so you have to excuse things in the right way. But, so you all gonna rap?
Oh.
And then when somebody really knows how to rap, they can rap off the top of their head. And you have someone like that? And so what do they say? They say they know how to spit. Is that what they say? They say they know how to spit. They know what to say. They know how to say it. They can just be rhyming all the time. Y'all think y'all can do all of that? Oh yeah, sure you can. Sure you can. So tell me how far are you ready or what? How am I ready? Are you? Do you have what you need? You trying to get that CD going? You ready? I can give you the floor right now? want ready? Oh, you gotta finish this chicken? Okay. That's right. See, they're great artists. I don't need to go after more, you know. But, I don't know if anybody wants to talk about any art or something that's coming up and everything. How about, I'm gonna bring up Roman, and Roman's tell us about some things that are coming up. Here you go.
Thank you, Jack. No, the project that I'm talking about is Steelworkers Park. What's interesting about Steelworkers Park is that this was a project that we started years ago. I believe it could have been in '04 when we first started talking about it, or further. Some of the earliest maps of it have sculpture. But the most important thing that was on that map, and Jack agrees with me, was the cultural center. But what's interesting about the culture, we haven't really talked about it all that much, but we asked for a cultural center at the lakefront at that time. But what I'm doing right now at Steelworkers Park at 87 is creating a monument to the steelworkers. The piece is called Steel Dreams. And basically it deals with the concept of what we shared here in this community in the early beginning of the steelworkers and the people that worked here. So that was very, very important. That was never forgotten. So I had the opportunity with this community and on behalf of the Claretians, we got together and we went to this plan a long time ago. And we all worked together, and it came through. It takes a lot of work sometimes, but it's really worth it in the long run. It just shows that in the community arts, the arts are alive and growing. That means any young person who comes out of the audience and say, we could make money here in South Chicago. Yes, you can. The art movement is growing and it's happening. So I believe the dedication will be sometime in January right now. But we'll keep everybody updated on the actual event. But once it's up, it's going to be something huge. Right now, you know, I wish I had pictures of it right now, but it's over 11 feet tall, and it deals with a group of four, a family of four actually, which is a basic steelworkers family. And as far as under the bridge, I'm going to pass it over to Roman de Leon because we do have quite a few events happening there now. So I'm going to pass it over and he'll clear you more.
I got a question.
Oh, sure.
Are you the child of the steelworkers?
Yes, I am. My parents came here in the early 50s from Texas. They were actually migrant workers that were on their way to Michigan that found out from friends that they were hiring at the mills. That's how our family landed here. I was the first one born in this community because every rest of the family was born in Texas. So I actually was the first one born in South Chicago. So for a person who came from the neighborhood, worked in the steel mill, it's an honor to leave something that's going to be there for hundreds of years that represents us in the community. Now when you see the piece, I'll be able to explain more about it because the style that I use is called minimalism. And it's kind of a style where when you look at the piece, you'll be able to identify it with anybody. So anybody who looks at it could identify it. That's why I chose this particular style of the piece. But I really don't have the things with me right now. I wish I did, but I really couldn't show them anyway. But it'll be happening very, very soon. And again, thanks to the Claretians and the work that Jackie did, because we were almost tired of this. I was telling Jackie that at one time we said, you know what, we're tired of the meeting. We're not coming no more. And yet, when Jackie said, one more time, keep trying, well, it worked. The art community here is growing, and I'm very proud of it because it's growing in all levels. The music, the arts, all the people that are coming back into the community. So I think that the future of the arts is very much alive in South Chicago, thanks to the Claretians. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Marge Guerra, and I had the honor of being one of the first people who brought the New Communities program to South Chicago. And for me, it was a very personal thing because I'm born and bred South Chicagoan, and I love my community. And I know that there is a richness in this community that has been hidden from our city and our politicians and everyone else, that they have not realized that this is such a rich community. Yes, we used to be a steelworking community. I'm the child of steel workers. I myself worked in Southworks for a time. I know the richness of the people, and that to me was what I wanted to bring to the New Communities program. I wanted the people of this community to be recognized for their artistic talents, their creativity, and their open-mindedness. And it's very happy for me to say that I look out here and I see all these new artists, these young artists that are going to perform today. Jackie has continued with the struggle very well, I'm happy to say. Yes, it is a struggle because I know. I did it for over 10 years, so I know it is a struggle to continue to try to bring the funding that helps each and every one of you meet your own potential and your dreams. So on behalf of myself and a lot of the older community members that started this program, thank you very much for continuing it.
Hi, my name is Roman Delio, Executive Director at Under the Bridge. I came in approximately almost 2 years ago with Roman Del Rio, and basically my end, I was help organizing events, incorporating the music aspect along with the art. We would host a bunch of young teens, band members, spoken word, basically kind of doing like an all ages event, introducing them to the music and the art side as well. So, that's been going very well. We had a bunch of events going on. To speak on the Steelworkers Park thing, I think it's projected the first week of February. We're still working with the Alderman's office to solidify a date, whether they want to do it during the week or weekend. But they did say first week of February is our projected time to have it installed and have a little opening for it. We do have an event November 1st at our studio, again, 10052 Ewing. It's Day of the Dead, which we're working with some high schools and grammar schools like Washington High School. Their art class, it's mandatory for all of them to produce something for our gallery, as well as Jane Addams Elementary. Their art teacher actually came to our facility saying that the principal told them, first thing you need to do is go see these guys at Under the Bridge. So she came in, we have 10-year-olds, 7th graders, 8th graders, all producing artwork that we're showcasing for our event as well. So we could kind of give them the seasoned artists as well as the up and coming, and give the kids something to look forward to, being in the gallery and then seeing all the other artists and, the other work kind of gives them, something to reach for, a little interest. If you could spark interest to them, and get them, off the streets and occupy time to do something positive, as well as, the graffiti artists. We did a graffiti show where we had them have an outlet to do the graffiti, instead of, all on the sidewalks or the garages or wherever where they're just looking for a space to do it. We're giving them somewhere to project it in a positive way. So, with that, working with Jackie, she helped us put on some other events. We did like an anti-violence event, we did a recycling event. So, we really do, try to do quite a bit, to keep the awareness of arts and everything involved. So, that's basically my end here. If somebody else wants to speak, I just want to say thank you, Jackie, for helping us along the way, and we look forward to seeing you all at some of our events and continue growing.
What's one of my favorite shows? Her first show. What show do you know that's cooking with Tittle? First show, cooking show that cooked chitlins. Okay, that was the first show she did. She'll talk about that later. Mackenzie, can you tell us a little bit about your hero?
It's not finished.
They never are.
No. I always finish up. This is the first thing that I ever worked on that was like, got to realize when we first started talking about this, because I had planned on doing multiple pieces around the city, I wanted to kick it off with Jimmy Reed, because Jimmy Reed was the first one, a friend of mine, and he was from this neighborhood. So I wanted to do the first one of him on a wall, okay? But Neil from the Chamber of Commerce, he said, let's do it like on a billboard. So, and I'm looking at it like on a wall, you used to just hit the wall and hit it, okay? Billboard, some other things coming into play, like how this billboard gonna be constructed. Nobody would build a billboard. So I'm sitting around with this picture. I don't have a home anymore, I'm homeless, and I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with this big piece of wood, you know? So it was rough. And that went on year after year. Nobody would build the billboard. It just sat around there. Every place I found to work on that picture, I had to move to another spot, and the picture weighs about as much as the Volkswagen. You know, it's heavy. So there's been a problem finishing this picture for years. One problem after another. The bottom half still has to be touched up. So I told Jackie, just take it, hang it up, and wherever it's hanging, I'll come in and finish it off. But that's, if everything goes to plan, that's the first of like maybe 50 pictures, okay? Because I want to put blues musicians all over the city. When you go to any other, if you go to New Orleans, which is a jazz spot, wherever you go, you see jazz. You go to Hollywood, you see some Hollywood wherever you go in LA. But you can go to the home of, go to Hollywood, and wherever you go, you see Hollywood. But Chicago is the home of blues, home of blues. And there's no place where you can find blues in Chicago. You can find blues musicians, but there's nothing that says I'm in blues town, you know? So I really felt like it would be nice if we could start putting something together like that, and just doing blues drills around the city, that would help. But if you got any questions about the piece, I'm open. Go ahead.
About the piece?
I said, if you got any questions concerning the work.
I love the piece, but one thing, that, I'm a little bit concerned of is when you put, especially in the area, when, they have graffiti that do it, and, the gang member, they do the things.
They don't put graffiti on our work.
Okay.
Usually, they don't.
Okay.
They pass up their artwork.
Okay,
Because,
like on because they're trying to do that. So that's why I want to make sure that
they don't. I tell people all the time, because a lot of people are concerned about art that I might put on the building. I said, if they put some graffiti on it, I'll come and fix it. But I say they're not gonna put it on artwork. If you put some nice artwork outside, they respect it. They like artwork, and another thing people don't know about artwork is it has a lot of there's a lot of healing that happens. Love and happiness comes with artwork,
Okay.
And when I speak of artwork, I mean whether it's painting or music, whatever. I had a guy coming up on me, and I know he was getting ready to try to rob me. I knew it, but I just started playing some music, and he just froze in his tracks. He froze right where he was at. And the better I played it, the more he just started coming around. Instead of tipping up behind me, he ended up right in front of me, not able to say anything because of the way I was playing the music. And it happens with drawing, paint, whatever. A neighborhood that's full of art is a neighborhood with very little crime. Very little crime. Because people are too busy looking. They're in awe, and they wanna take part. They wanna do some of that too. People love art. People love it. They may not want to buy it, but they love it.
Thank you.
I didn't recognize you. Thank you.
We're going to talk about Roman later. Change his look on us. Okay, so our young people, they're coming to mix it up a bit. Right, wait a minute, what's the name of the group? The G Come here.
One of y'all need to bring you this.
Just come here. Who's the spokesperson? Who's going? Can we bring this young man up here, please? Can we bring this young man up here?
Just say it. GMUB.
Okay. Hold on. What's your name?
Allo rappers from GMEBT. Like we put it together like Global One, Eastbound ENT, GMEBT. Y'all get it?
Okay. Y'all on.
Wait on that.
I'm turned up off the sky, wildin' in the party, shorty.
We got respect for y'all. I ain't trying to do too much. I'm sorry to be a rapper, but I'm gonna let my brothers take this over. But we do thank everybody, for their support. You want to see us do better.
I'm gonna ask you all some questions. Come on, let's give them a hand. It takes a lot of courage to always come up and show somebody something that's different. And I really admire you guys for doing that. It takes a lot of courage for you to do it. And I kind of just want to know what makes you want to do this rap? Why do you all want to do it?
I mean, since I've been growing up, you know, that's all I did was write music, you feel me? And my homie put me into this, you feel me? He ain't here no more, so we got to keep the dream strong for him.
So what do you want to do with this? What do you want to do with your work?
Take it to the top. Get it out to the top and hope we get our families out. That is one thing, you know, like we use rap to express our feelings and what we've been through, so that's basically what I rap at. That's what I want to get to. I want to get somewhere with it. And somebody got our voice.
I'm glad you said that because you know what that means. It makes you an artist. It makes you an artist, and that's what artists do. We express how we feel. And sometimes people don't want to hear how we feel. Sometimes, and sometimes they do. Sometimes they just need to hear it. Sometimes it's hard to hear, you know. And sometimes people ignore it, that don't get it. But there are people who do get what you're talking about, and you've got to be able to keep on going and reaching out to them. And as I told you, you got a lot of veteran artists out here that are willing to support what you're trying to do. And we have some people who've been in the industry for a long time, and I want you to think about this. Just because you're doing this right now doesn't necessarily mean that you might be some big time rapper. You know, the entertainment industry is a huge industry. You know, I mean, a lot of the people that I grew up with, you know, we were all doing theater at the time. A lot of them are working in social services, and they're happy. They're happy with what they're doing. But there's so many things that you can do in this industry and make a really good living. You writing songs, that's where the money's at. We know that. We got some musicians in here. They know that. Myron is a wonderful, wonderful blues and jazz musician, and sometimes he plays for the Bulls, don't you? Yeah, he makes a great living playing the music. And you know, and I don't know if you know it or not, but we got a hit finder up in here. Yes, we have a veteran. Where is she hiding? Getting some of the food back down there. Madonna Tittle. Madonna used to work for GCI, Tom Joyner, and everything on GCI. And she would find hits and everything. She know a hit when she hears it. She knows about the radio industry. You know, one of the reasons why we wanted you all to come out here because we want to figure out how we can help you. And so we're really looking at opportunities to create a sound studio so you can practice your craft. Because that's what it takes. You got to practice. Okay? You got to practice. You got to practice often. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And I don't know whether LaDonna, if you got some words, if I talk about the industry a little bit and what it was like, I don't know. And give us some helpful tips.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, everybody. How you doing? Oh, really? Oh, great. I am too. And good to see you, Tim and Kevin. And I tell you, some faces that are familiar. And of course, I will always find the food. Because that's what we do, cooking with Till in the middle. And of course, to all of artists, if you have a dream, I say stick with it. You are bigger than your dreams, believe it or not. Dreams are good. And keep on practicing, but do have plan B, like go to school to get an education, okay? Just in case you can't get that here. Because it's not easy making top 40. Okay, you got a lot of competition out there. And that's the real world. That's what's really happening. But don't stop, you got some beautiful voices. And at least you can dance. They make audition for the Rockettes. You know what I'm saying? Y'all had the little rhythm going. I thought somebody was going to kick their leg up. You know? I'm like, okay. And of course, you guys are what, the supporters in the background? Y'all like the cheerleaders?
No.
Well, you know, we need cheerleaders now. They
just a part of the movement.
Movement, okay, but moving too much. Y'all was standing too still. Y'all gotta get some more movement. You know, we hands like that. So, you know, wave in the air like you just don't care. Okay, I guess they're gonna make it. We're gonna try to help them make it. And then, of course, we got Mr. Sprinkle with the theater. I tell you, theater, singing, and theater, it goes together. If you can do that sound, you can have it going for you. What do they call it? A 3-point threat? Singing, a triple threat. There you go. Somebody got an education back there. I like that. Triple threat.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. So we have a lot of great artists here, and they're giving you, what did Michael Jackson say? I'm going to tell you like it is, but I'm going to give it to you with love. And you all just got it with love tonight. You just got it with love. And I appreciate that. Got it with love. Okay, so we have another young one. There's another young person here. And I think the very first time that we did an artist month at Claretian's in the lobby area, she performed, and how old was she? About 7 years old. Flo, can you come and tell us about your granddaughter? Myron's gonna do it. Myron and Flo is gonna come up here and introduce their granddaughter. Myron.
In front of the audience, and they would say, how did the show go? My comment would always be, what did the audience think at that point? Because the audience really is this determining factor. And if you look at any of the older groups that have came, some of the people that are around, different people that have that are sort of, as Jackie was saying, they blew up or whatever the case may be. One thing that they all had in common, all the old school, even if you take some of the rap artists, you take like Curtis Blow, Grandmaster Flash, different artists, Aretha Franklin, James Brown, whatever, Jackie Wilson. The one thing they always had in common was that the audience always felt that they did a superb job when they were on stage. So it just wasn't up here in the head on that. Anyway, getting back to this, so Lee Ross is going to perform a song a cappella. We appreciate you guys being attentive. Lee Ross, come on up.
Hi, my name is Leah Robinson. The greatest love of all time, Whitney Houston.
Okay, quiet, please. Respect.
I believe the children of our future. Teach them well, let them lead the way. Love of all inside of me.
Yeah, tell me, now what school do you go to?
I go to Major Lutheran.
Where?
Hayward.
Okay, you go to school in Hazelcrest. So thank you. You are growing up. And thanks for coming here annually, coming to perform for us. We appreciate it. You're a very talented young lady. Thank you so much. Hey, come. Did you get your age? Did you get your age? Tell me your age.
I'm 9 years old.
9 years old.
All right.
9 years old. You keep doing it. Thank you so much. Let's give her a hand. I know he just put a big chunk of food in his mouth, but I'm gonna call him up here. Mr. Derek, I want you to tell us a little bit about some of the work that you've been doing. And he's like, oh, I got food in my mouth and everything. While you swallow, are there any other artists that would like to come and talk about some of their work? Anybody got something coming up? Flo? Okay, Flo, come on up.
I just have Flo on the floor.
Hey, Flo.
Thank you, everybody, for allowing my granddaughter to sing. I've been working with her since she was 2 years old. She used to sing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, then she would scat sing with me. And then she's grown now, and she chooses her own song. And her grandfather is a retired music teacher, so he helps. Thank goodness we got help. And the young men, I wanted to say to you all, keep doing what you're doing. Don't give up. Rehearse, practice. Practice and rehearse. Do some more. I work with the 63rd Street drummers. There are 12, sometimes 50 of us on the beach playing the drums. And we play it all the time, even in cold weather. They're rehearsing right now, and I'm not there. I can't be in 2 places at one time. And also I'm working with Donnie Carter. He's a muralist. He did a huge mural on 54th and Halsted. We thought it was going to take a couple of weeks. It took 2 months to do that mural. But it's on Martin Luther King and all kinds of history. And that was a great experience. Kinsey is a great harmonica player. If you ever hear him play, he sings blues and he plays that harmonica. I stood at a club one night and watched him sing. I said, I didn't know you had that in you. But he can do it. Mr. Pringle is a wonderful drama person. He knows drama left, right, up, and down. You want to know about the theater? Mr. Pringle. Kevin and Joan, thank you for being there for Jackie. She needed you all. And you all made history with her. Stick with her. You're going to grow. You can't help but to grow. Roman and his wife, they're doing great art things in the neighborhood. Keep on doing what you're doing. They need you. There's a lot of other people here that I don't know by name, and I just want to say God bless each and every one of you.
Okay, dear. Let's go. Get your food in. Okay, here we go. There's food.
It's been a whole line, a long time filibustering here. I'm a community artist, just like many that are here on the wall. And there's been some great inspirational, collaborative feelings that we received when we work together or have at least exchanged ideas. I have a partner
who is, her name is Luz Castillo. She's a business partner of mine. And together we've done something called the Drive-By Project, which we're taking a negative connotation and turning it into a positive. What we did was to look at the blighted buildings, abandoned buildings that are boarded up, and actually tag them with our own art. And fortunately, the community likes what they saw, and it's still there. So we intend on continuing to build this up. And we're not doing this just for ourselves, but we're actually asking for other artists to contribute something of your particular style and flavor to this drive-by project, particularly for young artists and those who are trying to build up their skills. We've been working with them at our studio, which is located in Pilsen. But since I live in this community, then I'm working with artists, young students in this area as well. So it's something that we're doing. We hope that it will gain a great deal of momentum. And depending on how many individuals that we get collaborative spirit with, it'll get that much better. We produce the panels which are outside of the building here, and it sort of gives you a sample of what it is that we're trying to do. Create these simple yet impactful images that say that our community has culture, that even as we've all aged, maybe we don't want to admit it. Really, you look great, okay? Whatever age you are. But it's really good to see that even after these years, there's culture here, there's vibrancy here. We have a wonderful Hispanic, African, and European community here. And if we work and collaborate a little bit more, if we are sort of giving more supportive, positive exchange with each other more, I think that we can do even more. Sarah's doing a wonderful thing down the street. Hopefully her facility will build up. We are working with her, and hopefully the Drive-By Project is offered to you as a positive thing, and as you see our work go up on the various buildings, you'll know that it is our gift, in a sense, to the community, that regardless of the difficulties and the struggles, that our community does have wonderful color, shape, and form. And so I'm pretty much done with what I have to say. But
Quick.
Yes.
I always have some interest in doing some stuff on these old buildings, but I never had the funds for the project. I was wondering, in this project, is there somebody funding as far as pay-wise?
That's a good question. Actually, Kenzie, we literally had to come out of our own pockets initially to show people that we really are serious about this initiative. Because if I live here, I want to leave a mark of some kind. And it's all about, how our ancestors, they drew on walls, they carved, they did reliefs, they left a message, something important, an imprint.
Right.
And we then, once we started to get these pieces up, and we solicited recycled materials, painted on them. We had youth come to our studio. They helped paint on the surfaces. Then we began to get the help of individuals such as Jackie and Claretian, Lakeside Development. They gave us a little stipend. And it was about just really trying to push the public art agenda and saying that we're not dead over here. We kept pushing that message. And so a lot of it had to come out of our own pockets. And then we had to reinvent ourselves. We had to put panels in places where people could see, hey, we definitely are here. And from that point on, we started to develop doing a commercial aspect to our work, which is putting facades on businesses in the fronts of their businesses. And the businesses love it. They get people drawn to their business. And at the same time, we can introduce culture to the community. We're trying to build that aspect of our art business up, and we're going to need assistance, and we're going to need different styles. And so it may take the Romans and the Luzes, and, you know, and the Marias, and Roman, you know, the Roman number 2. to, you know, throw ideas. We may have to have meetings, because as it develops, 2 artists can't do it by ourselves, and we will need the assistance, but we do want it to grow.
You know what? I've been, where the direction my mind has been going. Somebody told me that it exists in Detroit. They told me that in Detroit there's a street where the whole block is some kind of bird project. It's got a bird in there, some type of bird, any bird, some kind of bird. Where you go on this street, everything is painted. Everything, the ground, the wall, the garbage cans, the poles.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like
Because they believe
It's an artist.
it's an artist community, and they believe it. Look at Pilsen.
Yeah.
Pilsen really believes in the art. We have to believe that this community can benefit from our cultural symbolization, our statements, all of our different art practice. And so that's going to take us to kind of stand up and throw things out there and get, you know, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. Jackie and I, what's that, 205, 204? We went to Philadelphia with the list. Yes, that was awesome. That was super awesome. And that really did kind of get me empowered to kind of, because in Philadelphia, they have art up out there. And they have an organization which is funding them, of course, but they have a lot of individuals who are willing to go into those communities and empower them, even those areas that are kind of poor. And that really made me feel like, well, what the heck? Southeast side of Chicago? I remember, in fact, we were just having lunch down the street at the C&G restaurant, and there was a woman who remembered the Goldblatts, Lakeland. What are some of the other stores that were here?
Lester's,
Lester's, $8,000 furs, shearling clothes. Goldblatts, I used to shop there for, you know, my high school clothes. It was crazy. So we had we really had a nice, very busy, you know, community here. And so it's not as though that's impossible. And one way as us artists is to get out there and partly take what we do in our galleries and do some less contented version of ourselves in the public. Let's see if we can collaborate somehow to just do a movement which hits our buildings that are blighted, and then spread the word, you know, we really do care. And I think it's basically just boils down to, once they know that we care and that they're really individuals that want to do this kind of thing, that showing this thing, it's bound to really get some exposure. And so, yeah, Philadelphia, the trip, that was wonderful. I was invited for that, to that. And it's possible to do it here. We just get willing individuals that are willing to cooperate and, you know, make it happen.
Make it then you
Thank you.
I'll make this very short. This is all the real diehard people of South Chicago. I am a community artist here, and I work for South Chicago and After School Matters. I have met Jackie when we were working at Children's Museum many years ago. I have lived here about 44 years or something like that. And I have seen South Chicago grow and go down and then come up again, and we're kind of like in between here. But the true people who are artists here really believe in the struggle. I met this young family, and I met this young artist 2 years ago, which is like, what? You come from the bush? I was highly impressed. She does beautiful art. I'm talking about my friend Luce, Norma De Leon also, young artist, and I just feel very privileged to know them and other artists that are in this room I have met through Flo. Flo and this young gentleman I have met through Jackie, and I'm learning to meet new artists. I met Garrett. So through the years I have been, as Garrett said, aging. We're aging well. I also love meeting the new artists, and that beautiful little singer over there, she was awesome. Yes. So I want to say, having said that, I truly believe in South Chicago. I hope it makes a real big comeback, and I love the people who struggle in the arts with me. Thank you, and good night.
What a wonderful way to end this program. Thank you all so much for coming out. Thank you for supporting our youth. You all do it all the time. I mean, you know, you all are working in the trenches. You're working with the kids and everything. And you see their heart is in the right place. They want to be a part of something. And I think we just legitimized a group, you know?
I think we gave them a lot to think about.
Yeah, I do too. And I hope that we can look back at this tape one day and see that they got it. It's one of them. Usually someone gets it. And, you know, let's just hope that they all can.
I don't think you want to lose sight of the fact that one of the reasons we're here tonight, and a very important one, is you.
Oh, God, thank you. I can believe without all of you. I just have to, you know, you all are just so talented and just so under-recognized as far as I'm concerned. You know, sometimes I just think about, you know, come on, Maria, us just hauling a whole bunch of artwork and stuff to take out to schools and everything. You know, and Marge, man, you touched every artist in this city. You know, you have touched all of them, and you've watched them grow. I think we probably could go out and do stand-up and say, remember way back when so-and-so was doing this and doing that, you know.
And very freezing on stage. That was my nightmare.
Right. But, you know, the connections that I saw, you know, those meetings were hard. But if we didn't have those meetings, Maria, Roman, you wouldn't have met Sarah.
Yeah.
You all were like opposite ends, didn't know. I think you were working for me, and then you look at Jack. I can't do your gig right now. I'm working with Sarah, and I'm like, that's the right thing to do. Go ahead. It was cool. It was really cool. But and I even Flo wrote this wonderful proposal, and I know she wanted it to get approved, and it didn't. But it always stayed in my heart because we really wanted to do it. And it was the one where they would do the drum circle. And so we got funding. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. We identified 3 lots in the community. And so we're going to have a community garden. And we're going to make sure that there's going to be a spot for people to gather. And so that they can be a drum circle, so we can get that Latin sound and that African sound, and let it come together, and and everything. But I don't want to go on. I just want to thank you all so much. Thank you for sharing your talent. We have a lot more to do. There's a lot more work to come. But and you know what? I also want to do one more thing. I want to take a little moment in time for some of those artists that have worked with us that are no longer here, if we could just take a moment. And one, Dexter, Dexter was one.
Right.
Dexter came, he would come to all of our meetings, and I know he was having a hard time, being heard.
Ministered at church.
Right, and then we have people who supported us, Pastor Hudson, and this room is dedicated to him too, and he supported us because I remember Flo did one of her events at the church at Pilgrim Baptist Church, and one of the first.
And Neil.
Yeah, Neil Basanko. And when I first met Neil, because he was like, yeah, these people are coming in here thinking they're going to do some art. I'm like, yeah, I'm an artist. And he did support us. He really did. And, I had a lot of laughs with him. And we had one more, Jerry. We had another artist that I don't know whether, she's a visual artist. And can you kind of just shout out what she did?
She was a photographer. She had her own gallery in her apartment building on 87th and Escanaba. I'm trying to think of her name. I'm sorry. She passed away a couple of years ago.
Absolutely. And
Francisco Mendoza been down here for years.
yeah, Francisco Mendoza, I have one of the pieces of his art. And, you know, it's like this, you know, you all were born, you were raised here, you know, you can do your art anywhere, but the thing that you remember to bring it home, I think that's the part that's so important, and they did. And, you know, we just have to keep that legacy continuing. We just had a outreach person from South Chicago Art Center was telling me he was looking for a book of art, and he was just amazed. He was talking about the theater groups that were doing street theater here in South Chicago, and the murals that we lost from somebody just kind of recognizing the art. And that goes back to what I was saying before. That's why I felt it was important to make sure art stays in the school, because we have a generation of people who really don't understand the significance of art. You know, we are, as artists, art reflects life, and that's our job.
Art is the doorway to the world.
It's the doorway to the world. It reflects life. Those young men, they're going through something. And they're trying to tell us what they're going through the best way they can. Because obviously, when they're having those conversations with other people, they're not listening. So they've got to find a way so people can hear what they're going through. So I commend them for that. So with all of that, I want to end this tape and say thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kevin.